Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring in the top right hand side Nickyboy, our blue Zerg, and in the bottom left his opponent is Skiiman, our red Protoss. Both players are in Masters. We're on Heart of the Swarm, and this is something Nova S. Oh no, Neo S Planet. Neo S Planet. It's one of the new ladder maps. It's weird. You got two rich mineral fields, expansions, sitting in the middle with nothing to divide them. A area that's obviously supposed to have a Xel'Naga watchtower that's just gone, which is cool. It's very unique of the map, and it really wouldn't expose anything to the player's vision except who has the two expansions, which you can see by looking to the left, looking to the right. It's weird to see a map without Xel'Naga watchtowers, but I think that they're kind of gimmicky, and they definitely make the map a little bit more exciting whenever you really don't know what your opponent's doing, which you're not capable of scouting huge swaths of the map. It's unique. It's unique. I also like to point out that it's St. Patrick's Day and that we got Nickyboy, which is pretty Irish. I mean, that's rather Irish. He'd probably choose green if you could pick a color on the ladder map, but I don't think he can. And I think Skiiman's following along the traditional pathway for Protoss, going up for that pylon on the low ground, going for the Forge Fast Expand, undoubtedly. And Nickyboy is making motions like he's going to be throwing down something into the 15 supply mark. Is it going to be a hatchery from this drone? Nay. It'll be another scout? No. Why is he moving out with two different guys? This guy's moving off down to the third, and he's going to have 300 minerals, so it could be that he's going to hide an expansion there. No, he's got a drone here too. This is probably Nickyboy being clever. Skiiman thinks he's got the block off for the hatchery. He thinks that he's making it so that Nickyboy can't even start the hatchery. Unbeknownst to him, the hatchery has gone down at the third. Minor delay, if at all, in Nickyboy's expansion. On the other side of things, Skiiman and Nickyboy are going head-to-head with a drone, and who's going to win? Oh, 3 health. Awesome. And I don't know if you guys know this, in a straight-on one-on-one fight, a probe loses to a drone, and that's because Zerg units recharge their health over time. You know, they get 1 or 2 extra health, and so evidently you win with 3 hit points at the end of it. They both players have 40 health. Drone has 40, a probe has 40. Both of them do 5 damage per shot, but the shields will not start recharging until you've been out of combat, but Zerg health starts recharging as soon as you take damage. So ultimately the drone comes out on top. So for Skiiman losing the probe to a little bit of drone harassment, and Nickyboy is celebrating by throwing down a second hatchery in his main base. Absolutely fantastic, especially because of all the lost mining time. Yeah, he's losing about 75 minerals every time he cancels that, but he's also costing Skiiman about that much every time he has to pull off a select number of drones. Looks like Skiiman is reacting with an appropriate amount this time. 5 won't succeed in killing off the hatchery, but it'll make it so it's only got like 200 health whenever it actually finishes. So ultimately that's a good number. That's a great number. Nice wall off here. We've got the gateway, we've got the forge, we've got the photon cannon and the nexus all finishing up, but on the other side of things, Nickyboy has a third that Skiiman doesn't even know about. He might suspect it, but he doesn't know about it. Spawning pool just now starting at the 20 supply mark for Nickyboy, and that translates to a ridiculous number of harvesters and a really nice mineral income, one that he's going to use to absolutely skyrocket himself farther and farther forward in the economic tab. Hatchery's going to get canceled in just a couple of seconds. It looks like he pulled a 6th probe for Skiiman, and that drone is just barely staying alive. What a fantastic play by Nickyboy, keeping this guy alive, going for a gas steal too. Kind of obnoxious, but not ultimately too annoying for Skiiman, because he's electing to grab his second assimilator down in the natural. We still don't see a cybernetic score, which really just shows you how successful this harassment from Nickyboy has been. I think Skiiman is focusing more and more on the economy. Really wants to get this saturated up before he even has to worry about the cybernetic score. Content that he's got the wall off complete, content that he's got the photon cannon. He's going to have to relax and realize that Nickyboy can scout all he wants. All he's going to see is 2 gas for a Protoss. That's definitely not earth-shattering. 3 queens on the production tab right now, and we switch over to the economic tab, and we can see 29 over 28. And that number just continues to rise. Double gas is being tapped for Nickyboy. What is he going to use that gas for? I'm not 100% sure. Traditionally, it'd be 4 gas if it was going to be something crazy tech-wise. So it could be a heavy ground-based play, maybe a Zergling Baneling bust. It could be a bunch of roaches. Only time will tell. Skiiman, he's banking quite a lot of gas. He's got over 300 gas. What is he going to use that for? He's got a third gas being tapped totally. Wow, that's rather impressive, actually. The Zealot is going to town on the Extractor. It looks like the Overlord has withdrawn. So scouting has definitely been stunted from Skiiman, and so here we go. Skiiman now realizing that the scouting is totally done from Nickyboy. The Overlord's gone. The drone has turned into an Extractor. Throws down double Stargate. And that's a fantastic idea because 3 bases for Zerg means that the defenses are going to be spread very, very thin. So this is going to be difficult for Nickyboy to deal with. Certainly not impossible for Nickyboy because remember his economy is going to be top drawer. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. He's got an Evo chamber going up as well as a Roach Warren. Is mining fully off of those 2 gases, tapping 2 more down at the 3rd and taking his lair at the 3rd, which is weird because it's super exposed there. But, you know, it's hidden, so he's going to be relying on that to keep it alive. Metabolic boost on the way, +1 range also. So Nickyboy is not making motions like he wants to be super aggressive in the next 2 minutes or so, but maybe in about 3 he'll have enough timing and push in with a bunch of roaches. With the Roach Warren finishing, it's probably going to be a roach push in relatively short amount of order. Double Void Rays on the production tab for the Stargates, which is a fantastic decision just because we're going to see a plethora of roaches in relatively short order from Nickyboy. And with that, what is it, Prismatic Alignment, I'm still learning all the words. Prismatic Alignment does additional damage to anything armored, and you might have noticed that roaches have quite a lot of armor. Switch back over to that economic tag, 62 over 44. I keep looking at the economic tag, expecting to see Zerg just skyrocket ahead, and we've finally seen that. Stalker doing a couple of pot shots from the Overseer, from Nickyboy, but this scout is absolutely phenomenal. Oh, speaking of phenomenal, look at this. Oh, fantastic play by Skiiman, keeping those Void Rays just out of the vision from the Overseer. Nickyboy has that Overseer rallied to the corners of Skiiman's base, but unfortunately just the unit control from Skiiman was just top drawer, keeping those alive, keeping those away from the Overseer. So Nickyboy, all he saw was 2 Stargates that weren't producing anything whenever he showed up, and that is huge because are those Void Rays on the way to his mineral line? Were the oracles that he's going to have to deal with? He won't know. He doesn't know, and so he's going to have to be very, very nervous. It looked like some Zerglings were out on the field right now, but they're more for unit control and map control, trying to make it so that the if a force moves out from Skiiman's base, he's going to know about it, and that's basically all those Zerglings have to do. Poking at the front door, not going to be doing anything with the double Zealots there to close that front door. A lot of gateways on the production tab, 5 total, +1 armor. Range is going to be finishing with the Groove Spine, also finishing 16 Hydralisks on the production tab. An excellent, excellent choice from Nickyboy. He's really going to need that in order to focus down anything in the air, but he's going to have to be careful because we only see a very small amount of Zerglings on the field, and even this small number of Zealots really, really will chew away at the Hydralisks, be very cost effective. If Nickyboy relies on the Zerglings to be the meat shield for the Hydralisks, he's going to be very disappointed, especially with those 5 warp gates finishing up. They're going to be supported by a lot of Void Rays, which are going to be able to focus down any roaches in the area, and I think Nickyboy is going to find himself without a meat shield in relatively short order. The Hydralisk's pushing in, taking down one of the Void Rays pretty much immediately, but with 2 more Void Rays adding on to the mix and a lot of Stalkers already on the field, Skiiman's going to be adding in a lot more Zealots, and this meat shield, his meat shield's going to beat Nickyboy's meat shields, and those Hydralisks are going to stop being as cost effective as they were in the previous fight. Now we see those Hydralisks going to town, really wanting to focus down those Void Rays, but some good unit control from Skiiman. I think he did lose one of them, forcing Nickyboy all the way back. The muscular augments are not done for those Hydralisks. They're so slow off of creep, having to turn and fight and just take all the damage that Skiiman can force out. A really bad engagement for Nickyboy. However, he did stunt the aggression from Skiiman. Skiiman's going to be pulling back. He's got 2 Overlords puking out creep over at both of the expansions, making it so that Skiiman cannot expand on the back of this. So Skiiman's going to have to take out at least 1 expansion from Nickyboy in order for this to be ultimately cost effective for him. A lot of Hydralisks are now on the creep, so he's going to have a lot more speed. Really doesn't want to engage this force, but he's got no choice. He needs to keep pushing back, keep those Void Rays away from the front door. On the back of this, Skiiman has a massive amount of ground forces now. Those Zealots, very intimidating because as soon as they close to those Hydralisks, they'll really cut it up, and Nickyboy really doesn't have that meat shield that I was talking about. He's got a small number of Zerglings. He hasn't been producing those roaches that could really keep those Hydralisks alive. He's going to be relying upon this nice concave that he's got set up. As soon as Protoss decides to push up this ramp, Skiiman's going to be walking into a trap, but man, those Void Rays are going to be doing so much damage. There's no roaches on the field, so they don't do the additional damage, but Void Rays still do quite a lot of damage, and look at all those Zealots pushing in. There goes the nice concave. There goes the slow on all those Hydralisks. This really glorious concave from Nickyboy. He's really doing quite a lot of damage. You can see the resources loss is definitely heavily favoring Nickyboy in this engagement. He was behind by so much. Everything on the ground is completely melted away, but only a handful, a paltry few Hydralisks remain, and only 3 of the Void Rays having to limp home, 2 of them definitely in the orange, and only a handful of Zealots and Stalkers remaining. And yeah, man, Nickyboy's macro is just in top drawer. He's had that third up for so long. The saturation is absolutely pristine. And as long as Nickyboy can continue to engage at such a cost-effective interval, there's no reason that Skiiman can even stay in this. I mean, this is really bad for Skiiman. He's put out all of his chips on the table, and he did a fantastic engagement early on while he was pushing Nickyboy back, but Nickyboy had just a great engagement at the top, this really nice concave, and Skiiman's got to decide, does he continue with this? Does he transition to something else? He's got 2 Stargates up. What is he using those for? Oracles. Okay, a good decision, a really good decision. Roaches, another good decision. Both players getting up 2 different unit compositions. Those roaches are going to be melted away. Oh, this is actually really neat. Nickyboy's got half his force on the south side, half his force on the north side. 2 very small armies, both of which are going to be baiting Skiiman. Skiiman really wants to step onto that creep. At the same time, Nickyboy moving in from the south, but Skiiman with some nice decision, good instincts there, pulling back once he stepped on the creep, realizing that he was missing something, and pulling back, making it so that those Hydralisks really couldn't get this perfect surround that would have been just absolutely devastating to him. Check it out, these Oracles, they do a lot of extra damage to light, and Hydralisks, last time I checked, were light. So these Oracles will be adding quite a lot of damage against the majority of Nickyboy's forces in this fight, but they're so very weak. They die very quickly, and Hydralisks do quite a lot of damage too. So while they will be doing quite a lot of damage, I don't think they'll survive the next fight coming. A lot of roaches on the south side, but no anti-air. Okay, a little bit of anti-air. Pushing in with the Zerglings and Zealots just crashing in the front, and on the north side the Hydralisks pushing in and getting a nice flank off, but neither of these forces were balanced correctly. There's no anti-air left on the south, and there's nothing left alive on the north. So Nickyboy needs to mass produce those Hydralisks, and quick. He's got 17 on the production tab. Skiiman, this tells you everything about what's going on back at home. He's got nothing on the production tab. He's got almost no economy, 0 left in the bank, whereas Nickyboy has 2k, and that's because he's had that third up for such a long time. Skiiman, yeah, he's got those Void Rays up, but with 17 Hydralisks now popping out onto the field, Skiiman's got no choice left but to retreat. He's got to retreat. And what has he got back at home? He doesn't have a lot of economy. He is transferring down to his natural, retreating. One of those Void Rays does go down. Another one's taking just a couple of pot shots, but I think it will survive. But man, Nickyboy is maxed. There goes the well played from Skiiman. It really was well played. It was great. It was a really nice decision to take the hatchery as soon as he saw the probe. It was right here. It was a beautiful. It wasn't really a good play. It was just funny with all the hatcheries, all the extractor tricks. It was definitely shenanigans. It was a glorious scout from Nickyboy at the perfect time to see that Stargate, and it was a really nice play from Skiiman. Really good unit control as well as awareness. It's difficult to know exactly how far an Overseer can see, or any unit can see, and knowing that you can move your units kind of in a counterclockwise motion to protect that, to deny that knowledge from Nickyboy. It was a great play by Skiiman. I feel like if Nickyboy hadn't scouted that, if it wasn't for that wonderfully timed scout, Nickyboy would have had a predominantly roach-based force back at home, and Skiiman would have just walked all over him with all these Void Rays. However, because Nickyboy scouted correctly, because he saw that Stargate, he knew that he needed to get out some Hydralisks. Maybe he was thinking he was going to be dealing with Oracles. Maybe he thought it was Void Rays. I don't know. Regardless, it was the correct decision, and he raffle stomped him because he had that banging economy. Well played. It was incredible. It was good. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. If you have a game you want me to cast, you could PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you guys later. I am Ibigandscary. Bye.